Okay, record. What is my MC? Go.
Me. Ready? Should I start?
Yep.
Good morning, everyone. It may be hard to believe that small choices you make on a daily basis, such as how you move around your city, what you eat, where you travel to, where you travel to on holidays, can actually have a significant impact on global environmental issues. Camilo is a first semester student at GSIS, and he is here today to show us the environmental impact of our daily choices. Please join me in welcome Camilo.
Thank you very much. Let me arrange here. Don't know how to do this. Okay. So today I would like to introduce you a concept that wait, sorry, trying to set up this. Okay, so today I would like to talk to you about the importance of our daily actions in terms of the footprint, or like what we call the carbon footprint. And I would like you to first of all like introduce you what is the carbon footprint. What do you understand for that? So the carbon footprint is the total amount of greenhouses that are generated by our actions. So to give you an idea, the average carbon footprint for a person in the United States is 16 tons, which is one of the highest rate in the world. And the average worldwide is closer to 4 tons per person. So to have a better chance to like fulfill with the Paris Agreement, which is avoiding the 2 Celsius degree global temperature, we will need to drop the average carbon footprint of person by 2 tons by 2050, sorry. And this doesn't happen over the night, and we always kind of judge our governments in terms of what they're doing to fulfill the Paris Agreement, but we don't frequently think about what we are doing to the Paris Agreement and the global temperature rise stop. So I would like just today to show you some ideas how to make this happen, how to reduce our carbon footprint. This is what I was mentioned earlier. This is the CO2 emissions per person, per country. This is from 2018. As you can see here, States, Canada has a high around 15 tons per person. And some other high intense countries in the CO2 emission per person are in the Middle East. As you can see there, we see there, let me see. I think around here, yeah, this is UAE, this is, I guess, Qatar, Kuwait. They have the highest CO2 emissions per person or carbon footprint. This is basically because there are high intense oil exporter countries with very low populations. China is right here, is below this United States, so it might be around somewhere 8 tons. And South Korea, it's also quite intense. This might be because of the heavy industry, the transportation, etc. Australia very intense as well. So I will just show you some of the impact, the personal choices you can take to reduce your contribution to climate change. We see here some of the low impact, being the here the highest impact. So if you decide to have one few child, you will cut the emissions like in the highest proportion. But you can also start eating a plant-based diet. You will have also high impact. You can switch to electric car or to car free. Actually, the switching to electric car, it will quite depend on the how the electricity is produced in your country, because how you charge the car to use it depends on the electricity generation. So this might be higher or lower depending on the country you live in. So that's why we assume that have a life, a free life, car-free life would be just better. And I will talk about some of these more in details. First, the way we move around the cities and even around the world when we were allowed to it's quite important, because since 2017, the carbon emissions from transportation were the highest in the world. They surpassed the emission from electricity generation. So this means all from all the carbon emissions around the world, transportation is the highest in that account. So the daily basis how we move, it makes a difference. When you drive your car by yourself, of course, is the worst in terms of how much carbon footprint you leave behind. So the recommendation, it will be like, if you can avoid driving the car, that's the best. Take public transportation. If you go by bicycle, it will be even better. If you cannot avoid to take the car, you need to do it by, like, you need to reach the place driving, then try to share the car with some co-worker, friends, etc. Try to park in the as far as possible, so you have, I don't know, well, you exercise a little bit as well, and you reduce a little bit of the emissions. If you are one of the person that fly often or used to fly often, if you take one long round trip, like transatlantic trip, it can significantly reduce your carbon footprint, as we saw in the previous slide. So this is like related with the flights, and it's vacation. The way we take our holiday, it will of course also affect our carbon footprint. I was like recently looking for a flight in, I think this was one Skyscanner or in one of the website, and I saw they have here, they now when you're looking for the option you have to fly, now they put the information also about the emissions, the CO2 emissions. So this is great. So when you are booking, and if you, I mean, if you can see the balance between the price and as well the CO2 emissions, this is something that you can really do to reduce your carbon footprint. As well, some airlines I've seen often they offer the option to make your trip like carbon neutral. It means like you pay extra charges, and the company will take an action to compensate the CO2 emissions that were just emitted thanks to your travel. So basically, what they can do is just to plant some trees, etc. And some of the companies are offering that. And so going back to our vacation, the ideal will be just to travel the less as possible. If you can just stay locally, will be better for your emissions instead of flying. Just if you can take the train, or etc., or going somewhere by transport, or like local transportation, it will be better. But of course, we all want to move around. So when you go around, just instead of a good idea to reduce your carbon footprint, instead of staying in the 5-star hotel or resort, is you can consider doing some camping or staying in the eco lodges. If you want to, if you are not like good fan of that, if you want to be in the city, what you can do is go to Airbnb instead of the hotel. As I told you, hotels are very energy inefficient. It means they waste a lot of the energy, as well as the water. So that will be some ideas to reduce your carbon footprint during your vacations. I would like to take some time to talk about the what we eat and our diet, how impact the our carbon footprint, the environment. So basically, there are 4 basic things that I want to mention. Is like, if you want to reduce your carbon footprint, you should eat less meat, you should waste less, you should buy local before imported, and you should consider also buying organic products. And I want to show you some information on this. These are the global greenhouses emissions from food production. From food production. So you can see here the non-food emission is 70% of the whole global emission, and 26 is from what we eat. So this is why it's important to mind also what do we eat. But not only what do we eat, but also how is it produced, etc. Where is it coming from? Because as you can see here, from those emissions, the supply chain, and also the package, it kind of influenced the emissions. We kind of hold on a second. Something happened. Oops, I lost my mouse. So yeah, I want to show you that the transportation, how the food is processed, how the food is packed, it minds in the emissions, how the land is, how we change the land for livestock production, etc. That is also quite of important here. Wait a minute, because I need to do something. Okay. Moving forward. So this is like, in terms of water consumption, what American breakfast, lunch, and dinner looks like. Of course, we don't eat like this daily, but just to bear in mind, like the normal breakfast with cereal, 1 egg, cereal and milk, that will represent 496 liters of water, which is enough to fill 6 bathtubs. A lunch with a burger, etc., and a can of Coca-Cola, that will means enough water to fill up 36 bathtubs, and dinner that will be like enough to fill 48 bathtubs. So if you thought that maybe the taking a short shower in the morning or evening will quite be effective to reduce your water use or carbon footprint or water footprint, is nothing compared to what we eat, as you can see here with this. I would like to spend here also a little bit of time showing you why what we eat is actually important in means of emissions. As you can see, this is the amount of CO2 produced for 100 grams of protein. And the beef, for every 100 grams of protein, you are just emitting almost 50 kilograms of CO2. So in terms of emissions and getting your protein, the beef is the highest. If the more beef you eat, like the bigger your carbon footprint will be. I'm not saying you should or you should do a vegetarian diet, but if you can, like, if you mind your carbon print and you want to reduce your carbon footprint, you should consider eating less and just check for another options. For example, the pig meat is quite lower, considerable lower to the beef. The fish, which depending on how it's farm or if it's wild, etc., will also give you a good option to replace the meat. Eggs and the chicken also are really like lower in terms of CO2 emissions. And of course, tofu and grains are the best in terms of reducing your carbon footprints when you eat. So at home, there are also a couple of things like you can do. And here the main or the key concept is energy efficiency. Like the less energy you use for your daily basis needs is the best for your carbon footprint. So replacing, there are some ideas of how to lower your carbon footprint, and you can just change your lights for more efficient light, LED lights, for example. And now that is the winter time, the way you control your heater will make also a difference. Sometimes we tend to put the heater higher than we actually need it, and at the end we end up opening the window because it's quite warm inside. So it means like you just waste all the energy to warm your house is wasted, and you need to just to start again the process. And this is very energy inefficient. It happens. I mean, if you have control also of your hot water heater for your shower, and you can just lower to like less heat, because what we do is we normally heat the water to mix it with cold water to take the shower. So again, this is not efficient. Um, same for the fridge. You just need to adjust the fridge to lower temperature depending on how much you are using it. But we normally don't fill up the fridge much. So I think we can do those basic easy stuff. And there is something I mentioned, I forgot to mention, and is if you still want to have a car and you're buying a car, you should also mind the energy efficiency of the car. I don't know if you have seen, and it's also like in some of the refrigerators and stuff when we buy, there is like a sign with the energy efficiency, like normally is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if one normally is greener, so that means the energy consumption. So if you are, this apply for your car, but also for your electrodomestics. If you are buying a new fridge or something, then mind the energy efficiency. And when you go buying is quite important as well, because and not only groceries but things in general. There is the amount pro the yeah, there is one data here that it quite impressed me, and is like and this is from the World Resources Institute, like 20 items of clothing are manufactured per person per year. So that is a huge amount of clothes that are produced every year. So what the people suggest is just try to buy good quality clothes that it can last for longer period of time, instead of buying like every quite of months. And this applies for a woman, that they tends to buy more clothes. And the like what is called the fast fashion is kind of very unsustainable way to produce the clothes, and at the end is it's a high cost in the for the environment, and of course for also for the people that is behind. So if you can just try to avoid this kind of behavior, to buying your clothes every 2-3 months and then not using back again, is like that will help to reduce your carbon footprint. Of course, small things, but you take your reusable bag to the store, skip the packing. Here is quite difficult. I find that you go to the convenience store and you want to buy one banana, and the banana is wrapped in the plastic. Why do you need to have a banana wrapped in the plastic? Which is, I sometimes I don't get. But if you can, if you still have the option to buy like stuff with less package, that will be also very good. I think yeah, that's it. This is some ideas for you to mind your carbon footprint. And now I would like to open the session for questions or comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Camilo, for your presentation. If you guys have any question for him, please raise your voice.
You can just comment if you don't have any.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I saw about the using the natural cleaning detergent. I just wondered, do you have any recommendation for that? Because I never heard about that.
It means you can, instead of buying the chemical products for some kind of cleaning purposes, you can use like kind of natural base, like vinegar. If you mix it with baking soda and lemon, some kind of stuff like that, it will help you to clean some other stuff. And of course, I'm not sure, I haven't buy here, but there are some other like organic and chemical-free cleaning product, detergent for your clothes, etc. I'm not sure where do you find it here, but I have seen it some in like in other countries.
Thank you.
Hi, Camilo. You have showed us like several ways to reduce carbon footprint, and do yourself like adopt any of these approaches? Thank you.
I do mind why I eat a lot. I consider, and I always try to find the most sustainable way to buy my groceries. And eating. So what I basically do is I try to go to the markets and try to buy all the like most of the local products, vegetable, etc. Proteins, weight of proteins. So this is like what I really do like quite more often. I do mine also like what I was mentioning at home with energy efficiency, trying to keep the refrigerator in the appropriate temperature, same as the floor heating, etc. And well, here, I mean, we agree that the public transportation is quite good, so we don't, most of us, we don't actually take or consider to have a car. So
Thank you.
right.
Camilo, can you
Yes.
explain why eating pork produce less carbon emission than eating beef? And is there any chance that we can calculate our personal footprint?
Well, there are some aspects related to the livestock, and basically growing a cow requires longer period of time and bigger land use. So why the cows are like higher in the CO2 emission is because normally to have the cow, what the people or the industry is doing is they are changing the land, means where there was a forest there are now cows. So that makes the CO2 emissions like higher because actually the trees, you know, are very good to capturing the CO2. So if you change the land and there are no trees there to capture the CO2 emissions increase in the higher rate. As I told you, of course, also the period of time that they grow and they use the grass to grow the grass, you need a lot of water as well. So those are some of the aspects that make the beef like higher in emitting CO2.
So is there any chance that you know how to calculate the personal?
Yeah, I was checking. There is one website, but it only has the United States option. You cannot choose the other countries. I will keep looking. If I find that, I will send you, because yeah, I was also curious, because it depends, mainly depends on your country where you live, even if the state you are living in, because it depends a lot of how the energy is produced in your country.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Hi, Camilo. Like, thank you for your presentation. I was thinking of like, like we always, well, I think always of how to cut emission, well, my carbon footprint. But lately with COVID and stuff, um, I find myself like ordering more because we cannot always be cooking, and you get tired of the normal food that you have in home, right? So every time I order, I find myself with like so much to recycle because I end up with like a lot of plastic. And I thought that was like probably, you know, another aspect that we didn't, see maybe.
No, yeah, you're like is yeah. Again, is it? I mean, there are some stuff you can do, you can control, but there is some others, like for example, that you cannot control because there is no proper regulation to make the restaurants to use less plastic, etc.